God. That's what Jesus is saying. He said, then you'll die in your sin. Jesus Christ is risen from the grave. He died on a cross, he was buried, and he rose from the dead. You could take all the world's leading geologists and historians and scientists from Cambridge and go and look for Jesus' body now. You won't find it. Muhammad is in the grave, Confucius is in the grave, Buddha is in the grave, Charles Taze Russell is in the grave. Jesus Christ is risen. He's risen from the dead.
Amen.
He's in heaven. The Bible says he's seated at the right hand of his Father, and all things have been put under his control. All things are under his feet. Even the very next breath that we take into our lungs is governed by Jesus. And one day he will stop that breath, and then you will stand face to face, and you will know on that day what is truly real. And if you reject him before you meet him in judgment, you will curse the day that you heard this message, because this message is a message of hope and good news for you. This is a message that you can get right with God today whilst there's still time. But when your breath is taken and your heart will stop beating, you'll stand before him, and that you'll be thrown into fire for eternity. And hell is not a party, folks. Don't believe the lie of this culture. Says, oh, I'm going to be in hell, I'm going to be partying with my friends. That is not the hell of the scriptures. Jesus said, if your eye causes you to sin, gouge it out. Yes, he's speaking metaphorically, but he says it's better for you to enter heaven with one eye than to have both eyes and to be thrown into a lake of fire, where the fire is never quenched and the worm never dies. Put your trust in Jesus. Come to Christ today whilst there's still time for you. This isn't a joke. We're not here to try and win clever arguments. I'm not a clever person. I've been saved by God's grace. We're not here to try and be intellectual pietists. We're here today to declare a message of hope to you, that you must be born again, that you must be set free from your sin. At the moment, the problem is that we love our sin. We love the pornography, we love the drunkenness, we love all the different things we put above God. And you need to turn from that. You need to put your trust in Christ. You need to love God more than you love yourself. Jesus said, if you don't deny yourself, you can't be his disciple. Unless you deny yourself and come after him, you can't be a disciple of Christ. My friend's going to come, he's going to preach. I appreciate you listening. He's got some great answers to some questions.
Amen.
Billy, when my friend Peter was up here, he talked about being created in the image of God. What do you think that means? Can you explain what you mean by literal?
Well, as opposed to figurative. As in the opposite of figuratively or metaphorically or,
How you doing, mate? Good one?
So, what do you think that means? Can you elaborate on that?
My suit back.
slippers back on.
Oh yeah, he's ready. He's got his trainers on.
Might as well take them off again.
The slippers.
Oh, that's better.
Okay, so you asked if God is an old man in the sky with a beard. That's your question. Okay. Okay. So the Bible describes God. He says God is spirit. He's immaterial. He's invisible. He's eternal. See, when the Bible says to be created in God's image, theologians describe the incommunicable attributes of God and the communicable attributes of God. There's a creator-creature distinction. In that, there's some incommunicable attributes that his creation, us as fallen men, that we will never share. For example, the Bible says that God is omniscient. He knows all things. Our knowledge is finite and limited. God is immutable. The Bible says Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. God never changes, but we constantly change every day. Another attribute of God is that God is immaterial, invisible. We're physical. Those are his incommunicable. Another attribute is God is omnipresent, because we're finite created creatures. We're limited to one location at one time. Those are attributes.
In the physical realm. Because surely after we die, we go to heaven, right? Is it just our souls that go to heaven? We're not physically in heaven.
So I would answer that. So those are some incommunicable attributes of God that we would not share. That's only distinct to God himself, but there's communicable attributes like his love, his kindness, his goodness. So we as fallen creatures to distorted degree will share those attributes with God. For example, a person, even no matter how evil he is, even like someone like Hitler, might have shown kindness to his dog or cat. Those are, yeah, so that's what it means to be creating God's image. We're rational, we can be logical, we can be reasonable. God created us to reflect his image, and that's fundamentally faithful. Why is stealing wrong? Because God is not a thief. Every time we sin,
Does he have a wife?